In the local news, the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines registered a year-on-year improvement performance during the first 4 months of 2016. These were remarks made by Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on Tuesday. Gonsalves told a media conference in Kingstown that his government ended the period with a current account balance of $5.2 million compared to a deficit of almost $4 million at the end of April 2015. Total revenue and grants increased by 5.7% to $180.7 million, and a current revenue rose to 6.1% to $178.5 million. The improved fiscal performance was buoyed by an added intake from a number of taxes. The government, however, received less taxes from properties, which also includes alien land holding license and stamp duty. Intake from taxes on goods and services were up 2.3%. Figures he presented did not include May, when VAT on a number of food items came into effect.
That we get from a lot of people, because from the time I became Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, they were supposed to be collapsed in 6 months, and then another 6 months, and every year, and the collapse hasn't taken place yet. And I'm currently the longest serving Minister of Finance that this country has ever seen. So I have more than an idea as to what is happening, and I have my hand on the pulse, and we still have challenges with our expenditure. And it is not easy, but we are surviving, and we're making some progress. But we are still not out of the woods. People tend to forget. Look, we have had the banana industry gutted because of the alterations in the market regime and the market condition. That's part of the problem with Kenny Anthony in St. Lucia. How you cope with that?
44 Ecuadorian teachers will graduate today from their 7-month Teach English Caribbean program at the Villas campus of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. This program commenced on November 9, 2015 and was designed to improve the competency of these Ecuadorian English teachers. The first 3 months focus on English as a second language, the next 3 months focus on teaching of English as a second language, and the final month saw the students pursuing a teaching practicum attachment in a Vincentian school. Other Ecuadorian teachers were simultaneously attending classes at the Dominica State College and the University of the West Indies UWI Cavell campus in Barbados. Today's graduation ceremony is to mark the completion of this cohort of Teach English program. Will take place from 2 p.m. in the Lecture Theatre 2 at the Villa campus of the Community College. Senator Deborah Charles, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, National Reconciliation, Ecclesiastical Affairs, will deliver remarks on behalf of the ministry, while Saboto Caesar, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries and Rural Transformation, will deliver the feature address. Meanwhile, reports reaching IKTV says that the SVG Community College Villa campus has been burglarized for the second time in just over a year. We will bring to you more on this in a follow-up report. Reports add that the body of 46-year-old Garfield Harry of Barley was washed ashore at Curtains Bay in Barley at about 5 p.m. yesterday afternoon. According to reports, Harry went missing about 3 p.m. last Sunday afternoon after he went fishing on a surfboard. We take this moment to send condolences to his family. Other reports suggest that there was a vehicle on fire at Mackey's Hill. Reports are that 2 females sustained burns about their bodies. The vehicle is said to be a red Jeep bearing the registration number PM618. Plans have been announced to commence conservation works in an effort to reverse the erosion and degradation of the Sand Hill Bay beachfront. Word of this came from Mr. Osman Davey, Chief Executive Officer of the East Caribbean Group of Companies ECGC. Speaking yesterday at a press conference hosted by the Sand Hill Euphorum Steel Orchestra at its Spaniard at Sand Hill, Mr. Davey, who hails from the community of Sand Hill, said that the ongoing practice of removal of soil from the Sand Hill Bay contributes to the process of the erosion there. He disclosed that himself, along with other individuals from the Sand Hill community, including Mr. Elvis DeRiggs, Chief Operations Officer of the ECGC, plans to use their personal finances to clean up the beach at Sand Hill. He added that with the assistance of the Honorable Arnim Eustace, the parliamentary representative for Sand Hill, they will seek to get boulders and placed alongside the shoreline to stop people from taking the sand, because if the practice continues, the shoreline will continue to erode until there is no beach. Mr. Davey said once arrangements are finalized, he and Mr. DeRiggs will use their personal money to have amenities like benches placed at the beach to revive its recreational value, where activities such as football, athletics and cricket were once played. He gave this effort as part of their way of giving back to the community. The highly charged case in which opposition New Democratic Party NDP politician Ben Exeter and one of the party's youth activist Shabazz Gun Monroe George are being tried on a number of charges will continue on June 20th. Magistrate Bertie Pompey on Monday allowed a 2-week adjournment to allow George, a student at the intermediate high school, to write his examinations. On Monday, George, who is 18 years old, wore his school uniform to his trial, which is into its 3rd day. Eyewitness News SVG reported that Exeter, who was also charged on the set date and time of George's arrest, resisted the arrest of Corporal 632 Morris, acting in due execution of his duty. Exeter was further charged with assaulting Constable Granville De Freitas of Chester Cottage, causing actual body harm. George is charged that on December 29, 2015 at Kingstown, he obstructed Corporal 632 Morris, acting in due execution of his duty, and had in his possession an offensive weapon, to wit a zapper. They have both pleaded not guilty on the charges. And we now take a word from our sponsors and return with more local news.